I mean, to a great extent, I think characters in the writing and in the actions they take, and obviously in their view of the world. And I think in the Holberg's writing, Marvin was a pretty clear character with quite a clear history, and it seemed to me quite evident how to do it, how to play it. You know, as they say, a stop clock is right once a day. I mean, Marvin's kind of an idiot, but he's fairly instinctive, so maybe he could be right, and maybe he reads self-help books or books about relationships. I mean, I can't imagine Marvin in a relationship of any kind. But I think Marvin is, and so is Frank, I suppose, maybe even more so. They're kind of quite loners. I mean, in the first film, Marvin already was pretending to be dead and lived in a bunker that you entered through the trunk of a car. But probably like maybe a lot of people, they can't do it themselves, but they're very, very happy to give advice, and advice which they consider to be expert. And plus, Marvin has been around Sarah a lot, too, so maybe he does know. I don't know. As I say, I think the thing that's necessary is that the writing is good, and and the character's view of the world is clear, and comprehensible, and communicable. And I think in this case that's quite clear. So, as I say, my work is fairly straightforward, and then the rest you get from your relationship with the other actors, and with what happens in the scene, because really every shot you do in a movie is kind of a little movie. And when it's actors like Bruce and Mary-Louise, Morgan Freeman, who was in the first one, and now we have Catherine Zeta-Jones and Anthony Hopkins and David Thewlis, and Helen, of course, is back, and Brian Cox, who was such good actors. I mean, I think everybody sort of takes into account everything that happens in a given shot, even in a given take of a shot. And people move quite well together. I think it organically happened. I didn't really know Bruce, although I'd met him a couple times in the old days in New York, and once at a film festival overseas, but very, very briefly. I mean, really in passing. But we hit it off very well right away, and we communicate well together. And Mary-Louise, who's such a gifted comedian, is kind of a perfect foil for both of us. And, you know, they sometimes both give me notes of things I should do in a scene, which are, in fact, very funny and quite singular. And we just have fun together, I think. We've been very lucky on this because Montreal is a lovely place and very nice place to shoot. A lot of different locations and looks you can get there. Paris the same. I mean, Paris will rarely be shot for somewhere else, but in London we can do a lot of the things that we may have had to do in Moscow. We can do them in London. Would have been great to go to Moscow, but the traffic is so rough there. I don't know, it wouldn't be very time productive, I think. Well, Dean is, he's very clever, he's very funny, he has a terrific sense of humor, very calm, and I think already the visuals, he doesn't worry, he understands what he's going to use, what he's going to cut, where he's going to go from here, etc. And so I think he watches very closely the performance, listens very closely to the dialogue, watches very closely how the actors play with each other, has very good common sense about working out any of the issues which invariably arrive doing a movie. I hope they're entertained, and I hope they like the storytelling and the characterizations. And I hope it holds up as a full story.